So here's a project my one son and I are working on. He currently has a 5-horse Briggs on his snow blower, which we built up from a rototiller engine, made all the cowling to winterize it and that, but he wants a little more power there to blow the snow further, so he's building a 2-cylinder, well, I guess in effect 10-horse Briggs out of 2 5-horses. Now these two engines here are just a mock-up. I'll show you here. See, there's a gap. We got a gap here of about 1 inch. That will be gone. The front of this crankcase will be at the back of this one, so that'll put the cylinder heads very close together. So basically like a 2-cylinder block that was made for that application. Now I'm going to have a little bit of fun with the intake manifold, but I dropped some smaller mufflers in there. I didn't have two of the larger ones, but just for mock-up, like I say. And the carburetor, it will sit over on this side, similar to that. Not sure if we're going to use this one's a 8-horse Tecumseh carburetor. That's one option. Another one will be like a 12-horse Briggs & Stratton carburetor. And because it is on being used on a piece of equipment, we're going to retain the governor on it, so that when it's loaded down, it'll open the throttle up and stop it from stalling out, all that type of thing, so operate the way that it should. So the next part of the video is machining the crankshafts, and that lasts for a little while. I show various machining operations we had to do to machine the crankshafts. So the intake manifold, we may go with something like this, 45 degree, maybe not copper, but that seems to, the geometry seems to work. And then we'll have to have a gas tank maybe mounted on the snowblower handles or something, but a separate gas tank on it there, kind of like most riding lawnmowers do, that type of thing. So anyway, this is just an introduction to the straight 2 10-horse that we're building. As well, at the same time, I'm taking 2 4-horse Briggs & Strattons and doing the same thing. So we're building a 10-horse and an 8-horse straight 2 Briggs & Strattons there for use. So because of that, we're having to keep tight machining tolerances and things, so that the central bearing doesn't wear out, and we want it to be I want it to last a while, because we're going to all this trouble to make an engine that's actually going to see some use. I know most of my Franken Briggses are just what you call show engines, or whatever you want to call them. I have used the 2-cylinder stacker lawnmower engine, and the sleeve valve also has ran, but generally speaking they only run maybe 5 minutes total and then get taken apart. But this one, we have different intentions. It's going to hopefully run for get hours of use out of it. So like I say, the next part of the video is machining some of the the crankshafts for it, basically. So hope you enjoy that. I know these crankshafts are induction hardened, and that's why you'll see sparks coming off of the carbide cutter there in one part of the video. I'll probably throw in an annotation there to let you know what that is, but that's what's causing the sparks anyways, is the induction hardening or surface hardening on the crankshafts, and seems to go in close to an 1/8 inch on the one crankshaft. I was surprised how deep it was. So anyway, I'll end this here and continue on with the machining. So here's our 2 5-horse crankshafts, going to be modified into a 10-horse, and 2 4-horse crankshafts going to be modified into an 8-horse 2-cylinder. So lots of fun work here. So we get the cranks chopped off here, so I can fit them together, kind of show you what we're doing here. It's going to make a 2-cylinder, well, 2 of them, but anyways. So cutting the crankshafts off, and then we'll join them together and both pistons will come up at the same time, so it'll be an even fire engine. So my son's hoping to put the 10 horse on a snowblower. He's got a 5 horse on it now, but he thinks it just needs more fruit punch, so we're going to hopefully have this as an engine that actually runs and powers something, and trying to build it so that it'll last. You know, when you make a project like this, you never know how long it'll actually run for before something bites the dust. But and most of my Frank and Briggs engines don't power anything, but except maybe the lawnmower or that. But anyway, so I'll make some more video here as we go along in the machining process. So the first thing we had to do was measure each crankshaft up here and do a bunch of calculations to try to figure out what our shim buildup was to get the crankshaft in the V-blocks, etc. I'll show you the setup here in a minute. So here's our setup on the machine there. Clamp it down, machine it all there. We had to do a complicated sketch here of our joint and get the dimensions we need to machine to. Here's our, let's see, I guess this would be the rear engine block with the front crankcase JB welded and bolted to it. And at the bottom there you can see we got a oil transfer hole. So lots of JB weld there. They're machined flat first. Take the one lip off there, and then like I said, a lot of bolts, and then the bolts are well, they're JB welded over, but they're also staked so they can't come out. Don't want her falling apart on us there. Here you can see the bolts that are staked but haven't been JB welded over top of yet. So we got them. Then we get our governor shaft mount there. We're going to retain a governor because we don't want the engine to over rev. On this one, the magneto mount's been machined off. Not the best looking block there. It's got corrosion on it and that, but that won't matter for our purposes. I'll clean it up some before I assemble it anyways. So we're working on the second crankshaft here. Apparently it's got a magnetic personality.